Robinson oversees as well with GPL community safety meeting. Those are the apologies before us. Moving right along to motion without notice, as per. There isn't. Also, there is nobody participating online. The online setup is up and ready. Yes, you are. It's your time to speak.
No, thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Is that being arranged? Okay, that's noted. It's being arranged. I think it will be alerted as and when
the directive was that this thing
that
is
is ready. The directive was that it must be physical. It was communicated to whips and everybody. Is that the okay? Members, whips. Member Makubele, can you focus on myself?
Of that, and we had agreed in the previous. I think the member has just joined. I think will when we have the whips forum, we will take him through, even including the minutes. So our sittings are hybrid, and then as time goes.
As there was one last week as well. It's only physical, nothing online. And I mean, there's a reason for that, and the speaker also gave that through. And I've got the correspondence. I'm not going to go into an argument. I'm just saying.
Yes, Member. I'm advised here that the community safety members are the only ones who were given, or rather whom the Presidium says they were given some special accommodation on the basis that it was communicated that the committee.
But the sittings of the legislature remain hybrid until a decision is taken here in the House and processed from the Whips Forum, taken to the programming committee, and then we finalize it. That's how things are done. And anyone who sent that particular email without this house to say that no, the sitting is strictly physical. Can we fix the virtual link and start the meeting, Madam Speaker?
Honorable Makubele, Honorable Chief Whip.
Speaker.
Honorable members, this is how we're going to work. Community safety. We're not going to debate much further, colleagues. What we resolve on, the link is sent only to community safety members. We are physical. It was meant to be physical. Speaker is aware of the physicality of this meeting.
No, but then can we look
Thank
at
you.
the house that we don't create a link for those people? They are attending a lot.
If it's the incompetency of your administration, we are not going to enter into that. So it's not our problem. This is what we got as an invitation. Can we stick to the rules and what has been communicated? That which Honorable Makubele is talking about, he will therefore go and rectify in the next sitting so that it doesn't happen again. For today, we are moving in this regard. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So we'll proceed, colleagues. Thank you very much. Honorable Makubele, with the, you said you are not ready. You are not presenting anything. We're moving to member statements.
Madam Speaker, we have received an email. I'm not sure if ever members are receiving emails. There is an email with the link from things now, Secretary. Yes.
Honorable Member Makubele, the resolution of the honorable members, the resolution, or rather the Speaker's ruling last sitting, is that we are physical and we accommodate.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Last week, large parts of Joburg, Ekurhuleni, Tshwane was again left without water because of Randwater's inability to protect and maintain its infrastructure. This is exactly what happened towards the end of February 2022 when residents across the province, as a result of infrastructure failure, but also the ongoing load shedding that impacts on the flow of water, further causing airlocks to develop in the system that restricts the flow to Jeppe, Southeast Hills, Alexander Park reservoirs. Those reservoirs feed large parts of the south, southeast and the north of the province. In the absence of the Joburg Executive Mayor and his MMC, it is high time.
69 road construction site in the city of Tshwane. This project has been under construction since 18 June 2019, and it was expected to have been completed on the 17th of June 2021. To date, has been revised 3 times. The overall project progress currently stands at 65% since 2019. The service provider that was awarded this tender quoted 258 million. However, the department has already spent in excess of wages and strikes because the contractor could not pay laborers and subcontractors. The department continues to use and pay UMSO despite the company being under business rescue. The EFF Cardinal Pillar number 3 of our founding manifesto states that, and I quote, the state must build its own internal capacity, which will ultimately lead to the abolishment of the
Gauteng provincial government to build a school as they were turned away from nearby schools who are overcrowded. After forming community members, the school was supposed to be further to Jongland and well as was called Beach Lane, that they already were not paid by the contractor, who claims that the education department has not paid him for work already done as initially agreed. It is really sad.
For its questions to the MEC for oral reply, Honorable Bloom, are you in the House?
Thank you, Honourable Acting Speaker. To the MEC for help.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The first question is the response is that there were 113 medical personnel. The second billion, an amount of 600 million has since been allocated for the 2023-24 financial year. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Bloom, do you have a follow-up, a comment or a supplementary question?
Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker. I just want to get the figure right.
My answer to you so that I give you all the details in every hospital, because you are right. It's only 113 for one hospital that I've been having in my document. Thanks.
We remove the consideration of the Gauteng Provincial General Laws Amendment Bill G007/2020, and that the special sitting in terms.
The motion. Okay, thank you. The motion is noted. By
on the floors in casualty, please provide the breakdown per month. From the 1st of February 2022 to date, how many people have slept on the floor in each of the other wards? Please provide the breakdown.
We have slept on the floor in the wards as well. The third one is that the overcrowding challenge has been a long-standing issue with the increase in demand of capacity last week with a capacity of 36 beds to relieve the pressure. However, the old area is still being used as an overflow area for mental health care, using a 300-bedded mother and child unit. Long-term plans including building another hospital, which is our Kempton Park Hospital, to alleviate the pressure on Tembisa. As part of Triple P, the department again were in discussion with private institutes to the overcrowding in our wards, but already there are plans in place that I will announce them properly in the budget. Thank you.
Honorable Fuchs.
Yes, Chair, thank you very much. So,
I hear you saying your bill wondered what had happened to them. I would also like to appeal to you that
the part with all sorts of things, and then you circulate them on social media. So please, members know.
From the 1st of January to the end of January 2023, how many times did the hospital run out of diesel?
One is that there is.
Fuchs, are you ready? Infrastructure. We're done with wellness. It was 2 questions from Honorable Miller. Attention is requested by a member of the Executive Council during question day. The relevant MEC must provide an oral question. MEC, motion on gender-based violence.
Trained to deal with the issues of GBV or members of the LGBTIQ+ community, parts to provide adequate resource to all victim empowerment centers across all our police stations. Refer victims to Cynthia. On Sunday, she hosted an awards evening for all the essential. In a situation where a staff member is about to retire, plans should be put in place timelessly to prevent the department from sitting with, and at the end of it, see if the perpetrator is even convicted. Why would anyone report a case later? A man is not allowed to cry. So men affected suffer silently and hardly ever tell a soul about what they are going through. I would like to lobby all members of devolution of police that we will have a better chance of fighting this horrible crime. I still have 4 minutes, Madam Speaker. I would like to also ask that if you have devolution, it's important that the province can also fight to ensure that the DNA backlog is returned at page and make everybody who was once a sufferer to feel slightly safer in Gauteng. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Bishop.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Good morning, Honorable. 13. But Tamar put ashes on her head and tore the long robe that she was wearing. She put her hand on her head and went away crying aloud as she went. Her brother Absalom said to her, "Has Ammon, your brother, been with you? Be quiet for now." Please take note. In our own homes, in our communities, in our societies, even in the church, how it is covered, it is time. And I want to admonish every sector of society, if we want to effectively deal, listen, let us take accountability for our brothers. Take accountability for those who is doing this to our women and our children. Our people are suffering. So I'm saying as a church, and I speak for the Church of Jesus Christ, we deplore the suffering and we confess our collective and individual complicities.
Honorable Paladi.
The African National Congress-led government has intensified a fight against gender-based, produced new laws to protect women and children in South Africa from arbitrary DNA collection for certain was at 1,600, translating to 99.3% back for vulnerable people in court proceedings and community structures. Number 5, police stations strengthening Green Doors project and working with Ikayale Themba will go a long way to contribute in reversing the scourge of heinous acts of violence against women, children, people living with disabilities and members of LGBTQI community in our
stand. When all was done, her uncle gave her 50 rand and told her never to tell her mother, otherwise he would never help her again. And by now everybody in the station was looking at her, and she started crying all over again. Her teacher insisted on a private place to talk. They went to her office and waited. Crime in this country has created a society of victims. Naledi had her beloved teacher, but other victims face the shame alone and in our home. And then we must inform, enlighten, and engage all stakeholders through school and youth programs. We need fully equipped police stations, experienced and trained officers in
every station, every social service department, not this long red tape and unnecessary process we have observed in our various homes of South Africa. Poverty remains persistent contributing factor to gender inequality. With transport in rural and township areas be a challenge, women often depend on leave from strangers to get around. Expression or sexual orientation, meaning that we are against patriarchy, sexism, and homophobia in all of its manifestation. We tally strive to release women's liberation through variety of intention from and back on Women March on the 22nd April 2019 to the Constitutional Court and on the 22nd of August 2019 to IBT, NPN, Public Protector, and SAPS, and by the binary gendered nature of the justice system. As this feel they are not free to report sexual offences because of their sexual orientation. Women feel more safe than men walking in their neighborhoods alone. Both they victimize and do not allow victims to open cases of GBV. Police social workers have to be trained on gender justice.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, Honourable Premier, the Chief Whip of the Majority Party, Honourable Member for lawyers, and I quote, a strong by way of background. Gauteng has 23 special windows equipped with trained gender-based violence ambassadors. Madam Speaker, Member Engelbrecht said that our victim empowerment centers service delivery. Sub-province took responsibility for deploying this kiosk as per the has helped in increasing awareness, but importantly, advocacy as also join and speak in one voice. Enough is enough. Through education resources which are to urgently respond to victims and survivors of gender-based violence, broadening the access to justice for survivors, raising of awareness and prevention campaign to change social norms and behavior, and services prioritized to ensure quality of services is provided. Madam Speaker, on the needs for more trained police and social workers available at station. Madam Speaker, currently 144 police stations have the responsibility of ensuring that each precinct has a dedicated... Madam Speaker, a lot indeed had been done in ensuring the safety of the gender-based victim and safeguarding the rights of the LGBT.
Thank you, Honourable Member.
Management issues. Our laws in South Africa does not meet the required actions against these perpetrators, and the victims often suffer in silence. We call on communities, leaders, stakeholders to prove we are all in it together. Thank you.
Honourable Diaga.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. South Africa is notoriously known the world over for horrendous gender-based crimes against women. Our pain, anger, defeat, and hopelessness at yet another brutal and arbitrary loss of life so often spears us into action. Vereniging, and was found after a desperate search by her family and community. Her name was Ntukoza Motulong. Time and time again, we are told that the government is taking action, yet there is no change. We are told about problems. Have we heard about bruised and battered individuals sitting on cold benches and queues at police stations because there were no trauma rooms? Or often, women victims are provided with medical care, counseling services, and their rights to privacy and confidentiality.
Honourable Makakula.
Thank you. One voice. Economically, the ANC-led government is the government of the people by the people, in line with the Freedom Charter clause that said the people shall govern. We listened to the crisis of the civil society when they made demands in participating as GBV brigades in Gauteng. Lastly, the launching of the floor management program within police stations to limit secondary victimization and waiting times for those reporting GBV crimes. Empowerment service is prioritized to ensure provision of quality services. This unit further ensures that victim-friendly rooms are capacitated, functioning optimally, and provide quality services. While more still needs to be done, but our past encouragement
That the perpetrators would be caught. 2 years later, the perpetrators are still roaming our streets. Member Engelbrecht, you are quite right. We cannot afford more ladies in Gauteng. Therefore, the importance to have sensitive members, I want to say to you and leave you with this thought. I do not want to leave this house without telling you this. If the current measures are working, why are the number of GBV cases increasing at such?
Thank you, Honourable Acting Speaker. Public Accounts Standing Committee Oversight Report on the Gauteng Provincial Unauthorized Expenditure Bill, G00.
Which is vote 4, incurred an unauthorized expenditure during the 2005 and 6 financial year. This was confirmed in the report of or not approve this unauthorized expenditure. Now, the department incurred the unauthorized expenditure of issues, the socio-economic impact. In terms of section 34(2), it says it's the committee.
The yes have it. Thank you very much. Secretary, next order.
2. Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker.
The yes have it. Secretary, next order. All right, sorry about that. Those in favor of vote 4, say yes. Yes. Those not in favor of vote 4, say no. Okay, that is recorded. The order is adopted. Thank you. Secretary, please go to the next order.
Bill that occurred in the financial year of 2005 and 2006, it's in contravention to the values of clean governance and existing laws of governance, including the Public Finance Management Act. SCOPA has the mandate to consider the circumstances that led to over 10 million unauthorized expenditure being incurred. As such, SCOPA has accordingly rejected the approval of this unauthorized expenditure, which translates into disregard for the law. The committee recommendation to approve the unauthorized expenditure without concrete and precise steps taken to deal decisively with unauthorized expenditure demonstrate clear disregard for the PFMA, which requires clean certain steps to be taken by accounting officers. This has not taken place. We disagree that there was no social impact since the unauthorized expenditure will be the first charge. SCOPA must institute forensic investigation into the department where this unauthorized expenditure occurred in 2005 and 6 financial year to determine the officers and manage responsible. SCOPA must set up joint ad hoc committees with health portfolio committees to ensure that the MEC process disciplinary measures against officials who permitted all unauthorized expenditure without fear or favor and regardless of the reasons. SCOPA must be followed as such, including disciplinary and criminal procedures. Millions of rands are wasted, looted, and this bill gives no attention, no concrete steps to deal decisively with unauthorized expenditure. The legislature must not be the body to cover up wrongdoing.
Unauthorized expenditure bill, G003-2022. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those who are not in favor, all those against, say no. The yes have it. Si, Mababulo, sorry.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Speaker. Let me take the opportunity to greet the adopts the Gauteng Provincial Unauthorized Expenditure Bill 2022. Adopts the Gauteng Provincial Unauthorized Expenditure Bill 2022. And just to conclude that I'd also like to acknowledge and appreciate the spirit, the consensus that I saw in the SCOPA meeting, and I'm quite sure that it will prevail.
For 3 minutes, sorry, as agreed to by the whips in terms of Rule 109, the presiding officer will request, of course, that we respond as our names are called individually. I will request that the bells be rung, and then the secretary will now read out the names, of course, when we
Now we are, let's close the doors, and then we start with this critical moment. Honorable Mudise, other issue. Now, with the roll call, I'll just explain that it's either you vote yes to this bill or you vote no to the bill. So it's yes or to relieve the MECs, and then we'll get the whips. Then the whips are the ones that will check with us in terms of the accounting. I'm just repeating this so that we are all au fait with the processes and the procedure of where we are. Now, thank you very much. It's your decision. Thank you very much. It's your decision. You also abstain. We allow abstaining.
Listening to what
No, thank you very much. You can also abstain.
She didn't say
it's a
that
very
she's
right.
not going to vote. She's saying she hopes that those that are attending visually are not going to vote. Not that she's not. You are not chairperson.
I'm going to allow.
And how? Deputy Chair. Chair.
Don't allow that
No.
Sit down. You'll
Chair,
be allowed
you need
to speak. To decide about this. Speaker, sit down to a programming, and then we'll come back and give you. But we proceed under that protest. I'm not going to allow that other
sittings. And I would ask the staff of the legislature to furnish.
On a point of order, I'm rising on Rule 89.
Which order are you?
89.1.
Yes.
Yes. You are consistently accommodating.
He's protected. Sit down.
But the member is still speaking.
Okay, let's give him. We're coming to you.
This fellow get to speak without raising a mood.
What?
Chairperson, member Makwala rose on a point of order. How does this fellow get his chair without talking? You're making the member of the ANC to make noise.
Is now exiting.
Now here is the position. When we started with this sitting, I'm saying
there was never such a ruling. There was never such a ruling. Go back to the secretary, and there was never such a ruling.
All right, sit down.
We're taking a decision that this is a physical sitting and there is no electronics.
I think you need really to understand here. When we start, we said those we went for.
That there's a committee that is on the international study tour. That committee is the only committee, or those who are in that tour are the only people who are going to log into the meeting virtual. Everyone else is expected to be in the house. I don't understand.
Be taken out.
Speaker, you can't this is not your meeting in a committee where you just take a decision. You can't proceed like that. Allow my point of order to be heard.
How many of them went to overseas?
Proceed. No, we cannot do this. Any issue that we cannot do this. We cannot proceed.
Look, I'm saying I'm going to address the point that you've raised.
And you are going to recognize me. You are not addressing my matter.
Sit down.
Properly. You are not addressing the matter properly. Refer or revert back to your.
I lead the coalition partners and Luana.
Yeah, let me. I've made a ruling. Now let me address you with professionally. Let me give you professionally. I'm saying to you, let's continue with the list. We're moving on. And we continue.
Speaker, Chairperson,
can we?
I'm the member of that committee.
Let me.
Go back to Goma. Sit down. Go to Goma.
We are members.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I've addressed specifically Honorable Makwala that he will be in the house.
Chairperson, I think you must be taken to the ethics committee. Chairperson.
Can we continue? Can we continue?
Chairperson.
It's an order. Order, Chair.
Honorable Makwala.
Withdraw you from that seat because we don't know what you are doing there.
Honorable Makwala, let me just make it clear. The point that to participate in this process, that's the point that we're making as the House. But
not
now, anything that is outside this, we don't really allow it, and that's the point that you are suppressed on.
Okay, thank you, Speaker. So that's correct. Chair, please.
Get the decision from
I tried to explain.
to make sure that there is order in the House. But now if people keep on howling, obviously, and that is the last, you could see how we are trying to address how one have to be tempted to move to Rule 97. But now,
No,
the agreement is...
Chairperson, I was not addressing that member.
Why do you address him?
He cannot tell me to shut up.
But did you not hear?
In this
Let's keep quiet.
Speaker,
Let's all keep quiet.
we told you shut up here.
Look, sit down.
No, you can hit that thing.
Yeah, but
inside,
sit down.
But he is not going to tell me to shut up.
Sit down.
Are you going to protect me?
Yes, sit down. Sit down.
That man telling me that I must shut up. Is that the language that we use in this house?
Sit down. Sit down
He
first.
must withdraw that. Or you must. Those such an arm
Sit down. The one who raised that point of order.
Yes.
And now I told you that in terms of agreement, there is no way the Deputy Speaker raised it, and that was never challenged, and that's the matter of the House. So we are proceeding in that particular fashion.
Thank you.
But a dialogue is not really...
It's not a dialogue, it's participating. Read it out. Read it out.
Speaker,
read them out so that we continue. We've got one, I'm reading them out.
Question of
one,
clarity.
There's a hand here.
We've got E.S. Malobani. We've got W. Masuku. We've got S. Kanyile.
I just want some clarity.
Speaker, protect this member here.
I just want some clarity so I don't get confused coming with next sittings, please. We had correspondence yesterday indicating this is only a physical. Now we're here, now it's something different. Just clarify
I wanted you to point the rules.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chair of Chairs. Chair.
One of the names that you called out is here. The person is here. We don't have to
Speaker. Chairperson, we don't trust your list. Chairperson, we don't trust your list. One of the names that you just read out, the person is here.
Let's continue.
Speaker.
Look, I'm not, Makwala, I'm not going to allow you any longer.
I'm worried that you are not doing
I'm not
justice.
going to allow. I'm not going to allow any.
NMA Mafukuye, MJ Kanyan, TE Magagula.
We read them properly, and I hope now it's very clear. Let's continue.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chair of Chairs. Eli Sufi.
Yes, I vote yes. Yes.
M.E. Kumalo. M.K. Msukuye.
Yes.
M.D. Klope. M.A. Mfuke. M.A. Mfukwe. Mfukwe. E.S. Malobani.
Yes.
M.G. Kanyani. T.E. Magagula.
Yes.
B.P. Ngube.
Yes.
Dr. N.E. Mukheti.
Yes.
R.J. Kikana.
Yes.
T.B. Munya.
Yes.
L.E. Makubela.
Yes.
A.N. Jovan.
Dlamini. BW Dlamini. AG Fuchs. WD Pitch. AM Randall.
Yes.
El Masilela. B. McKenna.
I recognise that there are enough votes in the House to pass this, so I'm not disputing that the bill has passed. But I do think it is time for the whips and the Speaker to come together to make sure that we get voting in an orderly fashion in this House in the future. Thank you.
Taken care of, and thank you for that. Yeah, we... Then we'll be moving.
Accountability and governance in the public sector through our auditing, thereby building public confidence. And I think what's really important from that mission that hasn't changed for the organization is that for government, for parliament, and for citizens, And the lack of progress in improved audit outcomes manifests mostly in where we see in local government. The everyday lives of citizens translates into something bigger, into highly undesirable impact on our Auditor General. What's important of this new culture shift strategy is the accountability ecosystem, where three specific groups of people need to meet based on our ability to fulfill our mandate, but also on the extent to which we are able to mobilize and bring the collective influence of the accountability ecosystem to drive. Looking at an overview of the outcomes for both PFMA and MFMA. For the PFMA, talking to the last cycle 21-22, our overall, the overall movement for your treasuries, etc., they're sitting in the clean space, and we acknowledge and commend them for that, but also say, what more can you do to support the province as a whole? What more can also, more importantly, better impact for the citizens on the ground? An example, you do find municipalities that have clean audits, but not necessarily achieving the impact of service delivery. Looking at the effectiveness of governance structures and how they influence change for the province, and also the extent of timely consequence management and municipalities.
And then make sure that they are really circulated to all of us. Unless there is any other question for clarity, anything, otherwise I think we really appreciate the fact that they were able to be here.